Hello, my name is Rob Van Ness, and I am the pastor and teacher here at Holy Trinity Community Church, United Church of Christ in Memphis, Tennessee. I am honored to bring you a reflection as a part of this Interfaith service of celebration for our Memphis Pride live and in color virtual experience. You know, I remember it like it was yesterday, even though it was 22 years ago in October of 1998. I was in a bar, Za's Place, on Main Street in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and this bar had televisions hanging up over the back end of the bar, and usually they played music videos, but this night they were playing CNN. Matthew Shepard had been found, tied to a split-rail fence outside of Laramie, Wyoming, beaten, tortured, and 6 days later, he would die. This event for me hit close to home. And standing in that bar with everyone else watching the news reports on CNN, well, we were afraid. Being gay in a small Midwestern blue-collar town always carries its risks. We all knew about the truckloads of insecure men driving around town, cruising gay bars, looking for an easy target to pick up, beat up, and terrorize so that they could prove some sort of twisted measure of their own toxic masculinity. But we also told ourselves that if we were careful, if we never walked out to our car alone, if we kept our eyes open and stayed aware of our surroundings, that we could protect ourselves from this senseless violence. At that time, there was not a lot of gay news or queer culture in the mainstream media. This was before the information and content explosion of the internet. We were not used to seeing stories about gay bashing every day like we are now. We simply didn't talk about them. Back then, the local gay bar was the heart of the gay community for many of us. There was nowhere else to go to hold the hand of, or to dance with, or even to kiss in public the one you loved. The local gay bar was our home away from home, our safe space where we could let our hair down and be our true selves. Many of us, our families of choice and chance, discovered in these local watering holes, became the replacement for families of birth who had rejected and ridiculed us. Standing there in that bar 22 years ago, we all thought the same thing while watching what happened to Matthew Shepard unfold on CNN. It could have been me. 29 years before Matthew Shepard was tortured and killed, there was a riot at another home bar for the gay community, the Stonewall Inn in New York City. On June 28, 1969, an organic reaction to a long list of injustices emerged, led by queer and trans people of color, homeless youth living in a park nearby, and countless others in response to a police raid. This event is considered by many to be the first major protest for equal rights for LGBTQ+ people. These riots were the inspiration for the creation of other groups, such as the Gay Liberation Front. The next year, in 1970, New York's first official gay pride parade set out from Stonewall and marched up Fifth Avenue. Stonewall was the beginning of the pride movement we honor today with our Memphis Live and in color virtual experience. The pride movement took us out of the bars and into the streets where we demanded justice and equality as we do today. To be who we are and respected for whom we love without having to hide in the shadows of the night. 50 years after the first official Pride March in New York City, I am speaking to you today from another local watering hole, Drew's Bar on Madison Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Drew's Bar is for many what the local gay bar has always been, a home away from home, a safe place where you can let your hair down, the public kitchen table for our families of choice and chance to gather around and be celebrated. This is an interfaith service of celebration for Mid-South Pride. We are people of many different faiths and people of no faith, people who are spiritual but not religious, those of us who are atheist and agnostic, all gathered together to celebrate Pride. With such diversity of identity and belief, we are called to look at what unites us instead of what divides us. And that is something that lies at the very heart of the Pride movement. The Pride movement, whose very existence laid the foundation for the HIV and AIDS movement, continues to call us today to come together and celebrate life, life in all of its glory and diversity. And what unites us is love. Love is something that exists in every faith and spiritual practice, every philosophy, culture, and throughout human experience. Love is love. When the Supreme Court of the United States declared same-sex marriage legal in 2015, many of us proudly proclaimed, "Love wins." Love compels us in the Pride movement to challenge ourselves, to always expand our understanding of love by our willingness to understand others who may and may not be like us. 51 years after Stonewall, our understanding of the world, praise the Lord, has changed. We are breaking the bonds of our binary gender and sexual orientation systems. We are no longer exclusively male and female, straight or gay. We see gender and sexual orientation on a spectrum that is as fluid as it is staggeringly beautiful in its diversity. This year, more than any other year, I am focused on the fact that the riots at Stonewall were led by trans women of color who were out and proud, defiant, and demanding. As the Black Lives Matter movement is continuing to call for the dismantling of systemic racism and white privilege in our society, an act of protest against an epidemic of violence against black and brown bodies in our country, it is right and just that we have 3 people of color as our grand marshals for the Memphis Pride live and in color virtual experience. The Honorable Aubrey Ombre, Phyllis Lewis, and Dwayne Murrell. We have come so very far, and yet we have so much more work to do. Join us. Let our Memphis Pride live and in color virtual experience inspire you to continue to love as you would want to be loved, to be known more for whom you include than who you exclude. Together, in the name of love, we are called to make the world a better place for everyone. Together, we proclaim over and over and over again, you are loved. Full stop. Never feel ashamed of who you are. Be yourself. Love yourself. Love who you want. Be proud of who you are. Love has no labels. Love is about love, not gender. The powers of life created diversity. Humanity created bigotry. Where will you put your faith and confidence? May it be so.